Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at the 8th Annual ECE Conference here at UAGC. I am excited to present one of our very own graduates. Her name is Brenda Sterling, and she will be presenting on powerful and purposeful transitions with music. A little bit about Brenda. She has over 10 years experience in early childhood education. She's been an educator for various ages and has hands-on experience working with multiple ages and stages of children. She received her BA in early childhood education in April 2024 here at UAGC. She has a passion for social emotional development in children and believes in creative learning opportunities for children. She is supporting and raising up the next early childhood educator, which is her passion and her purpose. And she currently works as a quality assurance coordinator for a multi-center childcare program in Maryland, where she trains teachers and staffs, as well as ensures optimal learning for over 100 students. We are very excited to hear her present on this absolutely interesting topic. Next slide. We kindly request your attention for a brief moment in the spirit of transparency and utmost respect for our community. We have some information we'd like you to read through on this disclaimer screen. By taking a few moments to read through the disclaimer, you empower yourself with pertinent information regarding the boundaries of our knowledge sharing environment. Next slide. Please also take a moment to read through this slide. Then together we'll embark upon some exciting topics in early childhood education. Next slide. I'm going to hand it over to you, Brenda. Thank you so much. We are very excited to hear what you have to share with us.
Thank you so much, Professor Lopez. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. As Dr. Lopez told us, we are going to be talking about transitions and the use of music in the classroom today. So, as early childhood educators, we all know that transitions happen throughout the day. So, what is a transition? If you look it up in Weber, it says that transition is periods of time when teachers direct students from one activity to the next. And some examples of that would be free play to meal, meal to going outside, rest time to a meal, and bathroom time, right? So as educators throughout the day, whenever we're moving children from one activity to the next, that is a transition, all right? Simple, right? Easy. One of my favorite quotes is from Hans Christian Andersen, and it says, "Where words fail, music speaks." In the early childhood classroom, the use of music has been a way that educators have used to control the classroom and manage the classroom for decades. Music has been known to benefit language development in children, social emotional development, as well as cognitive development. In fact, the US Department of Education did a study and said that about 53.2% of teachers actually use music in their classrooms. So that is more than half of all teachers using music in the classroom. And also, music is a great way for you to have a diverse setting in your classroom. You can use music from different cultures, different languages in your own classroom. I know at one of the centers that I actually worked at, we taught the children Spanish and sign language, and they actually learned songs using those different languages. And then we're opened up to different cultures, which is amazing. It's very inclusive because all stages of children and different levels can use music in some way. Maybe, one child might be able to lead a song and have language to lead a song, whereas another student can shake a musical instrument and be included. So music can be used throughout the classroom in different ways. And as we said in the previous slide, that it has different learning domains that it touches on. You can use music in math, science, all the different learning domains and learning areas music can be included in. Another quote by Leslie Garrett that I love says, music is the most profound, magical form of communication there is. And I think that's true, right? Because as educators, we all have seen the love of music from when we're young. Many people, if you speak to them, say that their child maybe sang before they spoke, which is true in my own household with my child. My daughter Ava actually sang before she spoke, and still till this day does. I think that this is true. That is one of the first ways that children can communicate. So, how do we use music in the classroom? Let's go further into this idea. So, music can be used in lessons, right? You can add it to your lesson plan. There's songs about all kinds of different themes and things that we do in the classroom. For example, I was teaching on transportation, and there's a really cute song that talks about a fire truck going through the town and the different things that, the little fire truck did. And that was a way to teach the kids about firemen and firefighters and how they do their work. And it was done through music. And by the end of the week, we continued to do the same song, right, for a whole week. And by Friday, the whole class knew the song, was singing it. Parents even came in singing it. So it is a great learning tool, a great thing to add into lesson planning. Also, music can help build routines for children. This is very true. Many of my classroom rules throughout my education experience, we sang a song about it, right? It's like, how do we help our friends? I put it into a song, I put it into music, and it was so much easier for the children to understand and keep these ideas in their head when it was in a song and they were part of the song, right? You can also include children with music by having them take ownership of the song. Maybe we clap here or we jump here to, keep a rhythm. How do we include the children in these things to help them learn even more? This is one of my favorite facts about music. It says that music supports dual language learners. When you have children who are trying to, maybe they speak a different language at home and they're coming into school, music has been known to help them learn language much quicker. A study in 2020 actually speaks about this, and you can find that information towards the end of the presentation here. So again, thinking of this big idea, how do we incorporate music? How does it help transitions? So we can use them with daily routines. There's songs for everything that the children have to do every day. There's hand washing songs, or even, especially thinking of hand washing, many teachers have started this fun idea of go through the ABCs while you wash your hands. And by the time they get through the ABCs is how long they should have been scrubbing their hands, right? Something so simple, but you put music into it, or a song into it, and it helps the children again learn these ideas. Lining up, again, if you do the same song and teach the children it, they, by the time at the end of the year, they can line themselves up. They know, oh, it's time to do this, we sang our song, it's time to do this, we did our transition song. Also, cleaning up, it's a great encourager. I have a song, and I actually will show it later, that encourages the children to clean up, and it also encourages them to work together, right? We're talking about those social emotional skills. It's teaching them to work together as a group. How do we get children to do things together? If they feel encouragement by a song, the song says the children's name and it says, good job, you're cleaning up. It's a great tool. Also, with greetings and goodbye, some children have a hard time coming to school. There's some great resources that help children to know, okay, mom's leaving, they'll be back, or dad's leaving, whoever's picking up and dropping off. And it helps the child prepare themselves while they sing the song. Also, with conflict resolution, songs are wonderful. There are lots of musical resources in which children figure out some of these ideas of how do we get along. It's my turn now, then it's your turn. All of these things can be taught through music and help with these transitions. Also, circle time, large group activities, small group activities as well, and definitely diapering and potty time. There's a really fun song that's called It's Potty Time. It gets the children dancing and excited to go to the potty, which sometimes can be difficult. I've been a twos teacher, been there in the gutter with the children, but the potty song was like the greatest time, and children were excited to sing it, and then they were excited in turn to do the next activity. All right, so now I'm going to give some examples of some of these transitions. Bear with me, I'm going to sing, but I always sing. I believe my classroom has always been a musical classroom. So we are going to think about some of these transitions, and then you can also actually hear it to put into use in your own program, your classroom, wherever you find yourself. So this is one of my favorite cleanup transition songs. As you see, it's for children about 18 months and up. Believe it or not, younger than that can do this song as well, but that's kind of where I would say is a better start for this transition. And so this is done after you give the cleanup direction. So we definitely want to start with giving the clear direction to the children so they understand, hey guys, it's time to clean up. Then we would go into this transition. That is the way I have done it, and the children really love it. So here is how the tune kind of would be for this song. All right. So it says, I like the way Brenda's cleaning. I like the way Joey's cleaning. I like the way Scott is cleaning, cleaning up our classroom. So you would continue to change the names as you sing, and you will notice that the children will start to be like, hey, Miss Brenda, you didn't say my name. You didn't sing my name yet. And they are encouraged to clean up so much faster. So what does this transition do? Number one, it gives children ownership of their classroom, right? It says, you're cleaning up our classroom. This is our space. We take care of it. And this is a lifelong skill that they need to learn, right? Because they'll in turn clean up their room at home. They'll in turn one day clean up their car, whatever it is, but it's giving them the ownership that this is our space. It is our classroom, and we are going to work together to get this done. Also, it praises each child for being a part of the team. And they, again, are encouraged to be a part of the team. You will see their little eyes light up because they're like, oh, I want to be, my name saying, I want to be a part of this. So it is a great transition. Another one that is used so much in my different classrooms and the children love is a waiting song. Transitions happen during, like we said before, during any time we're moving children from one activity to the next. Sometimes those transitions take a little long. For example, we're washing our hands and we're about to sit down for lunch. If you have a class of 20 preschoolers, they're going to have to wait, unfortunately, at some point. So what do you do so there aren't disagreements and fights and, oh, somebody pushed me, or these things that naturally happen in the classroom? What do we do so some of these don't happen? So this is a waiting song that we do during that time. It's called What Should We Do While We're Waiting? And it is also an action and music song. So the tune for this song would be, what should we do while we're waiting? Waiting, waiting. What should we do while we're waiting? Waiting for our friends. And the first thing you can do is clap your hands while we're waiting. And then the children would say, and also do the movement with you. So they would do, clap your hands while we're waiting, waiting, waiting. Clap your hands while we're waiting, waiting for our friends. And a way to expand upon this transition song is you can ask the children, whoever is waiting nicely and quietly, you can ask, hey, Johnny, what should we do next? And since this song, you'll use it over and over, they'll say, oh, stomp your feet or jump up and down. Now, of course, sometimes they say silly things like, we're going to tap our head or roll our tummy or do something silly like that. But again, it gives the children ownership and they're a part of this process, right? You say, hey, what should we do? What idea do you have for us to do? And also, some of the friends that maybe they're not always as vocal have this great opportunity to use their language and to be a part of the group and lead. If you ask them, hey, what should we do during this time? And children really do love it. And they always kind of even wait for this transition song once it gets started. And you will see that some of those longer transitions will be much smoother with this song. All right. Another one is for circle time or when we're moving to centers. I call this song Jump Up and Dance. Again, movement with music is always great with our friends' little bodies. This is a great song, especially on a day, maybe it's raining outside, or here in Maryland, we get snow, we get all the weather. So if the children maybe couldn't go outside, this is a great way to get out some of that energy with the children. So it's called Jump Up and Dance, like I said. So the two blanks that we're kind of seeing is the child's name. So you would say, Brenda, Brenda, jump up and dance, jump up and dance, jump up and dance. Brenda, Brenda, jump up and dance. Now, Brenda, sit back down. Or if they're moving to centers, you would say, Brenda, go pick a center. And it's enough time for that child to kind of go, move on to the next thing. And before you know it, the whole class is done. And a great thing that you definitely want to do, especially if you're using this as a move to a center, is friends. And this is where, kind of management in your classroom is important. You'll say, friends, we know that only 4 friends can go to art, for example, or we know that only 2 friends can go to technology time, or whatever the center is, the space limit that you have given that center, you want to make sure that you tell them before you sing this song. That's why I always say it is super important to establish rules before the children move to these centers. You want to make sure that they understand 4 friends can go here, 2 friends can go here before we even sing the song, so that the children understand this. So you have to practice this song before centers, which is kind of what I just went into. And you have to teach the children the importance of you only jump for your name. Again, this is a way we teach respect to children. My name is not Ava, so I shouldn't be jumping. I only jump when I hear Brenda. I shouldn't be taking up, doing anything unsafe with my trip or hurt any of my friends. So it is a great way to teach respect, to teach individuality, like, hey, that's my name. I can take ownership and dance right now because that is my name. All of these things are ideas that are taught through this simple song and transition. And also, the movements can be adjusted. Maybe you have a friend who is not the best jumper right now, right? Maybe they can spin around, or maybe they can touch the ground instead of jump up and dance. So you as the educator will know the skills of your children and the children in your care. And maybe they can't jump up and dance, but maybe they can spin all around or touch the ground. Okay. So again, we're talking about where are some other cool areas that you can add music or some of these transitions. Math. So according to an article for Mozilla Online, they said that music can help children with creating patterns and sequences. So how do we do this? An example of this would be to use music while counting. So you could give the children, for example, some counters, and then they count as they clap. So you put out maybe 6, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? It will help them with getting that pattern or getting in their mind the rhythm of counting, which will help them in the long run. So another way is singing letters or words. One fun thing I had always done with my pre-K classroom is tell me something that starts with A. Hey, tell me something that starts with A. The children think about it. Maybe one would yell out something and they say, oh, apple, Miss Brenda. Then we say, A is for apple, apple, apple. And then the whole class is like a call and response music song that they would do. Also, you could do, what letter does your name start with? And, for me, I would say B, which is the example we have here. So we say again, hey, what starts with B? Hey, what starts with B? And then they would say B is for ball, ball, ball. So this is a great way that children can learn letters. And again, it's fun and really important to make sure they are involved in this, right? Of course, we could have letters and words for every letter, but it is great to make the children be responsible for that part of this. So that is the end of the presentation that I was giving you guys. I hope you got some fun songs for your classroom to use. And if you have any more questions about any of these ideas, or if you would like to have access to my preschool music playlist, it has over 50 songs in there. You can always just email me at training.brendasterling@gmail.com so I could share this information with you and more songs, and also, the PDFs of some of these songs so you can use it in your classroom in the future. And I hope you guys learned some new fun ways to incorporate music in the classroom to continue to empower the children and give them new resources for learning.
Thank you so much, Brenda. This is fantastic content, and we're really excited you were able to present. Again, thank you for attending or watching this training, and please, please go on to pick another training. We have plenty to choose from. And again, this is the 8th Annual ECE Conference, and thank you again, Brenda Sterling, for this fantastic content.